Welcome to the Battle of the Conqueror. I like this particular battle because this is when the Mongols were actually able to subjugate the Rus, and I can't wait to see how they perform in battle. Now, something incredible about this fight, this is a historical fight where the Mongols did actually end up winning, pretty much smashing the Rus army. But we can see, look at the forces that they have here. Just looks like an endless stream of forces. They might even have, yep, another reinforcing line over there. So it's all up to our Mongol units to, of course, make do with what they have and subjugate the Rus. Let's see if these Mongols are as good as everybody says they are. I can't wait to see. Let's take a look here. We have two wings as well, so another wing on the left and another wing on the right side. Okay, let's make it happen, folks. We are the first to move, so I'm going to immediately start charging inwards towards the enemy forces. I hope this is sufficient. We want to do the same with our two units here, and we've actually got one of our generals, Bloskina, sounds almost Rus, that is going to be assisting us. I'll also move forward with our best equipped cavalry. That's actually what they're called. And let's actually get up close and personal and take a look here at what we've got. So, of course, the standard Mongol horse archers in the front, but also the not so well-known but still very viable heavy Mongol knights. And these guys, you know, will come in after the horse archers when the enemy unit is disordered and really do a tremendous amount of damage. So we've got some Polvotsin cavalry, and I think the best thing to do here, come on, we are Mongols after all. Let's start peppering them with arrows. 27, man. Talk about pretty serious odds. And I'm just going to keep on trying to target that one unit. They did do a morale check twice, which is pretty awesome. I did move the cavalry unit up a little bit farther than expected. I'm going to do another shot. They did hold firm again, but once again, 25, not a bad hit. And I'm going to try to do the same to the enemy's right flank over here. So really trying to break them down and force some early game morale checks from the enemy. Those Polotzian, they look almost like Mongols, so I'm guessing these are like other tribes that decided, very bad choice on their part, not to join up with the glorious Mongol horde, and they will pay for that in time. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Hopefully our boys can retreat from any attacks, and I think they can. Here we go, the mighty Rus. And there we go, sure enough, we are evading. We didn't manage to evade with all of our units, though. And since these are horse archer units as well, they are able to get up close and personal, and we are the first ones disrupted here. Not what I like to see at all. Might actually have to charge out with our cavalry and try to catch some of these horse archers, something I don't ever recommend, because that's actually the tactic we're using to pull enemies in here. So let's see what we can do. Maybe this is actually an opportunity to really show off our prowess and send this cavalry packing quite quickly. Alright. So here we go, guys. Can we make this guy run quickly? I really hope so. I'm going to keep trying to test him with the arrows here. And again, they did a morale check, but not enough to break them. Although I think it's time to start bringing in the Mongol cavalry. So we're going to try to close the noose. I'll turn and fire here. Really start doing damage to the Polvotsins. And I'm hoping that they're actually stuck. You can see, of course, they've got their other cavalry units behind. I feel like they may have gotten themselves into a pretty awful situation without realizing it. I am going to charge with my cavalry unit. They're going to evade, but hopefully we can follow up these charges, and eventually one of these is going to go through. I'll do the same over here, charging, and look at that. Lucky enough to go ahead and hit that Polvotsin cavalry unit that just retreated. If I had a better attack here, I would go for a charge here too, but what we'll do is just keep on firing, really try to weaken the enemy that way. We're even going to try to charge in with the Mongol cavalry on this flank, and sure enough, we did get an impact. We're not done yet, though. Now, we could do a charge here that would go quite well, but you know what? Before we do anything, I want to weaken the enemy. That's the whole reason we've got these horse archers, is to try and weaken them as quickly as possible. We've got to keep in mind, though, there's Yarun Kali. This is another enemy general and we have an opportunity to charge him. So I'm thinking that might be the right choice, especially since he's disrupted there. Let's go ahead and send in the best equipped cavalry. And they are evading. We do get a charge on that other cavalry unit, though, and we have caused a disruption. Pretty cool, guys. We need to bring in that group even faster. Come on. Because as soon as these guys arrive, we're going to be able to smash these guys in the flank, and I think possibly end the battle quite prematurely. If everything goes as planned, of course. I like the approach so far. I would have liked to get one more attack, of course, but you don't always get what you want in these situations, of course. And you know what? I could actually turn and fire at the general that's retreating. I could even turn this way and potentially attack them next turn. What I'm actually going to do is turn and fire at the Druzhina. These are, of course, the enemy knights, and they've got another commander here, Prince Daniel of Volhynia. So I'm definitely concerned about that. Let's hope that RNG is in our favor. Here we go, folks. Ending the turn. Good shot. Now, again, we're the ones being turned around with these charges. I don't like that one bit. Massive group of enemy infantry, and I don't think we could take these guys on. We've got to try and crush their cavalry right here and now before any reinforcements arrive on the Kalka River. Getting a break here could potentially cause quite a serious break further up the line, but we don't know until we do it. And again, with these supporting cavalry units, it's got me worried, and I think we'll fragment them this turn. Yes, broken. One unit is broken this turn. Most of them did actually hold their position, but it looks like we got a rear charge on one of the enemy generals. Look at how quickly that happened. And I want to assure you guys, we're not on easy mode here. This is, I believe, normal mode. So it's fascinating how quickly our Mongols are crushing the enemy here. Let's hope that continues. I want to go ahead and get that shot off, because killing a general this early on would be tremendous. But you know what? We've got another enemy general right here, and we could get a flank charge. But before I take that risk... No, sorry, it's just standard Polvotsin cavalry. The enemy general is right here, Prince Daniel. And we could go for him. Although I'm seeing such an opportunity here with the Polvotsin cavalry, but we can't just ignore him. So let's fire at Prince Daniel. I'll bring these guys in for the charge. In fact, first we'll charge here. So we are taking quite a risk. Looks like the enemy managed to get away. What about a straight charge up here? That's not going to work out in our favor. So let's move over here. And let's pepper the enemy over here with shots. I think at this point, we've got to try to get one of these charges. But it doesn't look like we can get the charge this turn over here. What about breaking this unit? We're going to have to find out what happens in combat either way. And unfortunately, this time it's our men that are fragmented. Enemy actually held firm against that morale check, but it does seem to me that our horsemen are far superior. At least that's the impression I get. There we go. Nice little shot at the enemy. We're going to do the same with the Mongol cavalry here. And again, they can chase us and chase us and chase us. We're just going to turn and fire every time they do. In fact, I'll even bring in another unit to turn and fire and do my dirty work. Here we go. Disrupted. That's what I like to see, guys. The Mongols continue victorious. But it looks like the only unit coming towards us is this unit that has already been disrupted. So what I'll do is actually turn and fire. And the reason I fired at that unit with the tattered flag, we can tell that their strength is quite low. So I got a feeling that we would do pretty well there. Now we've got our reinforcements arriving. As if things couldn't get any better, I'm going to force a run because I don't want them surrounding our men. But look at that. It actually got us into combat. So at this point, I'm just going to get into combat that much faster. Fire. Got some allied generals approaching too, so let's bring them in. And look at that. Every single one of our units, even our heavy cavalry, have the ability to use a bow. I think this is why people see the Mongols as OP, and why historically they were OP. Every single one of their warriors was trained in horse archery. So pretty much just a mobile force all throughout. And that's certainly a challenge for any enemy. I think that's why the glorious Richard Bodley Scott decided to go ahead and give the enemy a massive numbers advantage. Because either way, it seems that we're doing pretty damn well against them. Now, what about this right side? We got to bring them in. They're still quite a ways. So let's start turning in this way. There we go. And I'm hoping we'll be ready to completely smash them next turn. My concern is that those enemy infantry are nearly here. And a few of the enemy units are getting around us in a sort of flanking maneuver. Alright. No time for concern. Let's make it happen. And hopefully this will be the end of the enemy army smashing in here. A few of our units are in danger, that's for sure. Might take them actually more than a turn, maybe 2 turns to get to the battlefield. I'm hoping. We need that much time. We need as much time as we can get. Few impact charges here from the enemy. We don't like seeing that. Obviously, that's never a good thing, but hopefully we can make up for it with those winged attacks coming in. And look at that. I don't want to see that. Some additional enemy cavalry arriving to the field. And look at that. The enemy broke on contact in a charge. I got a feeling that wasn't a very good charge, and it looks like Subadai Bahadur. This is actually one of the great Mongol generals. Subadai, of course, Subadai Khan. He actually managed to fight the enemy off right away. In the meantime, we also disrupted this unit, so let's see if we can't just go ahead and break it. Not quite. Although we have several other units that we could charge. So I think what I'm going to do is turn and fire. But let's focus on Prince Daniel here. He's a fool to have opposed us. So let me attack with these guys first. The reason being, the charge from these guys is going to be much stronger, and I want it to be a follow-up charge. Yes, fragmented, guys. One more attack, and he should be completely destroyed. As for the Polvotsyn cavalry, I really do want to go for the flank charge. I'm going to go for it, but what I probably should have done is gone ahead and used the bow. That being said, if we can break through here, even better. And once again, it looks like we can still get a flank attack over here. In every single way, we seem to come out on top. It looks like we could actually get a flank attack on the general, and he will break on contact. But I think a much better idea would be to go for this unit, since we know that general is going to break anyway. And there we go. Enemy cavalry breaking, sure enough. And our men are just cutting them down. I kind of wish our guys would stick around, but I'll accept that for now. Good opportunity for a charge here. Okay, I expected a definite break. No matter, we'll keep on using these arrows, even with the units that are pretty hurt. And I'm just a little worried about Subadai. We don't want to lose a general like him. And right now, the enemy is potentially could break through to Subadai. We have to resolve this combat, even though I don't want to, because it's not going in our favor there in the center. But otherwise, we're doing pretty damn well. And we've got this next winged approach. So let's make it happen. Something like... Yeah, this is pretty good. Oh, damn it. I messed up. That's okay. We probably should have micromanaged this anyway. Yeah, getting some pretty amazing hits with the micromanage. And we do have to send in some veteran Mongol cavalry to take that unit on just in case. But this is a good start. So I'm just going to keep on pushing these forces into position. Man, I love playing as the Mongols. I can see why nobody allows you to play this in multiplayer. It's too broken. It's just way too broken. They're a ridiculously efficient force for this time period. Still have a few attacks here. Yeah, let's try and get them to run. Try and get them to evade. Oh, I thought we caught the other unit. Damn. We'll push the rest of them through, and at this point, yep, might as well just tag them with arrows. Same with the best equipped cavalry. Turn and fire at the Polvotsins, and just that caused a disruption. If we were able to get just 1 or 2 more attacks against them this turn, I actually see a potential for a break. Maybe we'll bring just one of these guys in. The rest of them will follow their comrades into battle. But I want to kind of see if we can't get a charge attack there on Prince Daniel. I think we're going to break him either way. But getting an easy charge attack here to finish it off would be just perfect. Alright, boys. I think the Rus are starting to see that the Tartar allies that they've purchased are not going to be as strong as Mongols. They just aren't. They might fight in a similar fashion, but we are the masters of the horse. We're the masters of horse archery, period. So any Tartars you send against us will probably be able to cut down, much like we subjugated other Mongol tribes years ago. Look at that, though. Those infantry still trying to get into position, and if they can make it to this battle in time, I do see them being a pretty serious threat. That's why I want to cause these breaks very quickly and pretty much shatter the enemy army before they become a threat. More infantry. You see what I'm talking about? Now, at least our flanks are breaking in, are starting to smash in here, and I'm hoping that allows us to get just a massive amount of breaks on enemy cavalry so we don't really have to deal with the infantry. I think that's actually the key to winning this fight. Come on, cause a break here. We still have not caused a break with Prince Daniel, which is unbelievable to me. Over here we have caused a break, but it's not a particularly interesting one just because it doesn't actually lead to any more of the enemy units breaking. So, first things first, I'll try to get the enemy to flee here. And now I'm just going to slowly close in on the remaining forces. In fact, I'll get them to flee and evade just to further expand this next turn's flank attack. I think you guys can see what I'm going for here. This is the only time that I'm okay with fleeing. And see, I won't try to cause this guy to flee because we don't want him to go further back here. We're just going to target this guy. Already a disruption. Happens that quickly. And what I don't like is that their infantry guys, they are about to attack. They're about to make it to the line. So for now, the rest of these units, we're just going to try to shoot them down, harass them as much as possible. And let's see if we can't finally cut down Prince Daniel. This guy is tough. He's still holding firm, but the general fell, and that's actually Prince Daniel himself dead on the battlefield. It's rare that we get a visual like that, but he is dead for sure. Of course, retreating. What's the enemy percentage at? 15%. We still have a long, long way to go, guys. In the meantime, I will try to do further damage to the advancing enemy units here. We'll turn and fire here, for instance. Could have already caused a morale check, and turn and fire here as well. And once again, a morale check was caused, but the enemy... No! I didn't want to do that. The enemy managed to survive that. So that gives them pretty much a flank charge. Alright, here we go, folks. Speaking of flank charges, this really has to work. I don't want to resolve the battle in the center yet. Huh, why can't we get in there on the attack? That is weird. Alright. It's okay. We're going to charge here. Cause the enemy to evade, and yes! Did manage to hit them on the impact charge. I'm amazed that they didn't break, though. That is definitely annoying. And at this point, just keep our distance from their infantry. and try and pepper them with arrows. In fact, that was a mistake. We should have tried to go for that unit right there. That's okay, though. We are hitting a lot of their men, that's for sure. A lot of their infantry there with the arrows. They seem to be quite effective and already causing some morale checks, which I like. Definitely like that. I do wish these two units weren't charging the enemy, but it is what it is. The Brodniki cavalry could be very useful in this approach, especially since they are pretty much shock cavalry units. Alright, what will happen next? Did get the enemy to fall back, but that's not going to help us. In fact, that could be a bit of a problem. Yeah, I was worried about that. The best equipped cavalry with that particular attack aren't looking so good. This center is starting to break, and that's never good. We need to make contact with the rest of these units very quickly. Okay, we actually caused disruption on the enemy. An auto break on the enemy side. Got really lucky there. But if we don't follow up that charge to hit that other enemy unit, it's not really worth it, I don't think. Yeah, he did not auto-charge into the unit I was looking for. Although, thankfully, our unit over here did auto-charge into the Galician Druzhina, the cavalry unit that kind of got behind our lines. So hopefully they won't be too much of a problem. But now we see the infantry arriving. And this is where I'm a little bit worried. I'm not as confident as I was before. It's like they're sending the entire Rus Principality here, and that is probably what they're doing, including Tartars and possibly even other tribes, just to stop us. This is the fear people have of the Mongols, but they should know if they don't win this battle, then they are lost. They are fallen. We will show no mercy whatsoever. I don't like those two units getting through, but we'll have to ignore it and focus on the positives here. One of them being that we could potentially get a break here. We could also potentially get a break right there. In fact, I think I might rush through and go for this guy. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Unfortunately, the morale check, they seem to be doing pretty well on that. Now, let's see what we could do. See, I'm not really happy with that. Although we could potentially cause a dispersal. Never try to beat spearmen in combat. I learned that lesson with my multiplayer game against Das Taktik. There's not a point. You know, they'll always be stable for the most part. And here we go. Even that charge is not looking so hot. Let's see if these guys would do better. Well, let's face it. Galician Druzhina are pretty tough. Here's what I will do, actually. I want to see if I can't cause this unit to break. Or at least get out of the way. And the reason being, that causes a disruption here. It also causes a flank attack. You see what I'm doing here, folks? And we can charge in with the glorious Sugir Khan, brother of Subutai. And we've broken another enemy unit. Hopefully we cause a charge right there. Another fragmentation. Man, I am loving it. And he's broken, guys. This is the fury of the Mongols. This is what I was talking about. When things get intense, when things get crazy, and we start breaking the lines of the enemies, this is where we start to show the true prowess of this faction. And again, over here, I think I'm just going to try to mow him down with arrows, pretty much. Alright, now I might go for a charge, because I know that we're going to cause an evasion. And even with the flank attack, we could potentially break the enemy. Look at that. Now let's see how this goes, because there's going to be a follow-up attack. Maybe not. Okay, but what we should do, since he's evaded, we can go ahead and cause a break. The beauty of the winged assault, guys. So with the winged assault, of course, we cause one to break. We've already got units in the center waiting for them, and they have nowhere to run. Nowhere to run. What about over here? Yeah, we're going to go for the knights. They're going to evade. Unfortunately, these guys we're not going to be able to catch because we were a bit foolish, and we followed up with just too many bow attacks. We should have just gone ahead and charged in. Although that's not very Mongol of us, so that's why I didn't do that. I was hoping I could cause a morale issue there. Maybe next time, maybe next time. We do still have Prince Mitislav here, but I'm going to ignore him for now and just use our bowmen to fire over here at this unit. See, we wouldn't do very well in the charge, but next turn we would do very, very well. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to send this unit through over here. We need him to try and deal with some of the enemies that have broken through. So I think that's a good use for him. I will take the risk, however. Try and remain in combat. Yes, that was actually fine for us. Just fine, very balanced. And this will allow us to hopefully break him next turn. I think it'll be an auto break. Fragmentation. Love seeing that. Just make sure that we haven't forgotten any units. And it looks like yet another Mongol cavalry unit that we can have some fun with. And with all of the enemies retreating here, it's quite a sight to behold. Let's deal with him first. The cavalry is always more threatening because they can catch up to us. And look at this, another charge. I just love all of these possible charges using the Mongols. It's a rear attack causing a disruption, fragmentation, and a break right here. No, he held. Damn. Well, next turn, they will certainly break. Oh, we've got some more units. That's right, these were the guys that chased the enemy off the field. Perfect time for them to arrive, bringing in the Brodniki. And I believe the Brodniki, this has to be a different tribe, no? Or at least some mercenaries. Those cannot be Mongol units. Unless, perhaps they are. Let us know in the comments below. And here we go. Turning it over to the Rus. We got to get to that 45, guys. If we can get to that 45, we got a victory. But it also depends on how much of our force they've routed. So I'm really hoping that we break through here. A lot of dispersals happening on the enemy side is always a good sign, because once they disperse, they cannot return to the field. They are gone for good. But all of these infantry are easily pushing our men back. What we're doing, though, and what I love about this Mongol army, is each time we pull back and they follow, they're getting themselves trapped deeper into the Mongol thicket. And it makes it easier for us to do flank attacks, to just do bow attacks and run away. It's just a really fascinating army to work with, let's face it. We cannot wait for that second line of infantry. We have got to break them here. I think it's now or never. Please try again. Damn. Okay, I did not expect that. That's the first time that one of our Khans did not perform very well. Let's face it. Over here, we did cause a break. Kind of expected that break to happen, though. One of our units rallied fully. It's always good to see that. Let's bring him forward. It's funny, he can actually go for an attack right now, but I'm not going to risk that. What I will do is just get up close and personal and fire. Same over here. Fire. Turn and fire. And eventually, again, even if we don't cause a morale issue, that will, in time, cause some sort of problem. Now, this is our opportunity to either charge or remain back like kennel dogs. And I'm not going to allow that. What I am going to allow is I'm going to get a charge here. Never mind. Never mind. He's too strong. Let's just turn and fire, but we get a potential flank charge right there. I'm going for it. I'm actually surprised that he ran, and let's see if we can follow that up with anything. But I don't think so. I think he actually went to one of the best areas possible. Although, it's not the best area possible. Best equipped cavalry, going in for a lance attack. I would love to catch these guys off guard. And, turning around does seem to be the only good choice here. First, let's see what we can do here. Well, mostly, we can go ahead, turn and fire at these existing units. So yeah, I think we need to pretty much be turning our entire army around at this point. Let's get over here and just try to destroy the infantry. But it looks like we've got to turn everybody around and head this way in the direction of the existing enemy army. We'll turn this guy around as well. Maybe we should be looking this way for the assault. No, that's not going to look so good. So here's what we'll do. We'll move in. Not our best idea, that's for sure. What about over here? So again, I think I'll just turn and fire and try to damage the enemy unit. We are seriously damaging their strength, so that's something we've got to look forward to. But this is where I'm a little worried, so I'm just going to turn and fire. Subodai has been using a bow since childhood, so hopefully he knows what to do. And it looks like even on this charge, we could do okay. Let's go right in, and looks like we had to fall back, but we did do a little damage to the Galician armored infantry. What I'll do with this unit is turn and fire. Try to weaken them even more before the next inevitable follow-up attack. Every single unit counts. And that's never been more true than in this game. In fact, turning and attacking this guy is probably a good idea. We'll aim at this guy, but we're going to focus on him. And we finally caused a morale check there. Got to turn. It's the only issue I see here is the constant need to readjust the army. But besides that, man, this is pretty solid. Look at this. That's got to be an easy attack. Enemy will evade, but now we're behind the enemy cavalry units. The only thing that is not looking good here is this right here, this battle. I'm sure that Sugir is going to be killed. We've already killed one of their generals, though. So it's trading general for general, and let's end our turn. Love to see those dispersals and just massive routes on the enemy side, period. I mean, look at that, man. This is why they had to add in those additional forces for the enemy, or else the Rus would be broken already. We would have been at that 45% mark. And yeah, we knew that was going to happen, having to, unfortunately, get broken right there, but it looks like we may have further trapped the enemy. Only time will tell, and incredibly, they didn't actually kill our general there. He did survive that and retreat it. So Sugir, brother of Subadai, will make it through this fight. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Don't like that. Don't like that. At least we got out of the way. We evaded all the attacks. But we didn't really hold our ground, which is troubling. So let's see what is the most effective thing we can do here to weaken the enemy. Obviously, causing more breaks is always a good thing. And here we do have the advantage in a charge, so I'm going to just fire at the enemy here. Try and slightly weaken them. So, of course, they are going to retreat. That's the disappointing thing there. We could follow, and I think we will. We'll follow and fire. It's a shame we can't get that charge this turn, because it would almost certainly result in a break. Well, we'll just have to test them with arrows. Here we go. Yep, starting to do some of those morale checks we love so much. And now over here, another chance. Unfortunately, not one we can carry out this turn unless we want to go for an attack here against the enemy infantry. And I don't necessarily think that's such a bad idea if the enemy didn't have a unit right here that's about to break. So I'm going to turn and shoot at them. Hopefully cause a break. Nope, not quite. So now we'll have to focus here on the enemy infantry. We've been doing a tremendous amount of damage to them. But it might be an even better idea to turn now. Yep, and fire at this enemy unit. Finally, we cause a disruption there. Turn and fire. And we're just going to get a little closer with Jebe. If we can cause a break with just shots, I'm going to go for it. At this point, I will charge. I don't think he can escape. And sure enough, we've got him kind of stuck here. Hopefully, it's enough to actually cause a break, guys. Here we go. Once again. Just doing our Mongol thing right now, shooting them down from a distance. Call it what you want. I think it's a fair way to win the fight. Maybe not. Maybe not too fair. That's okay, though. War doesn't have to be. I knew I was going to get a victory in that charge. However, next turn, they're going to be doing a lot better against us, and these Galician armored spearmen could potentially join the fight. So, not the greatest move of mine, though. Turn and fire. Yup, causing a disruption. That's what I like to see. Over here, though, this is one of our units. It's Subadai, of course, behind the enemy line. I feel like we've got to turn and fire. It's in our nature. But again, this really just shows the prowess of the Mongols. Just all these opportunities to further harass the enemy. Even here, we're just knocking down some more of their cavalry to hopefully break them in time for the end of the battle. Let's end it. We need some more breaks. Yeah, after that volley, it's no surprise that they dispersed. And we held firm. The only reason is because of the enemy's strength there. Had they been at full strength, that Druzhina would have caused a morale check. The enemy's getting desperate at this point, even attacking with their archers. We've got to try to flank attack those archers, because that's an easy, easy run if we can get it to work. But with this approaching infantry, thankfully a lot of it is peasant militia. Nonetheless, spearmen are spearmen, and our guys aren't going to stand up to them. We're going to have to keep our distance. But look at the map on the lower right corner. We actually have the setup exactly like a proper Mongol setup. Pretty much just a C shape enveloping the enemy army. And trying to close that gap, of course. That could have been a chance for us to get a decent fight back. Decent counterattack would be the proper military term there. And we held, we still held, man. The best equipped cavalry truly are the best equipped here. And again, this turn gives us a chance to get some major breaks, I think. So let me see if I'm right. Huh. Oh, so the enemy owns the zone of control here. Well, let's put an end to that. No! You are vicious. So they do own the zone of control. Alright. Damn. I think that's a flank attack. Yeah. And a break. That's what I like to see. I don't like to see our men chasing the enemy like wild dogs, but this will have to do. And I'm even considering a charge in with these guys. It's not typically a win, that's true. But these are very different times. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the risk here. You don't usually want to do a flank charge, and that's why with Mongol Light Horse. In this case, we did. Nice! Another break. Another break. I knew that was going to pay off. And now I recommend we just turn and fire at the existing units. Turn and fire. 27. Well, they aren't looking like they're breaking. And I think we can just get a break on contact. Maybe not. Damn. The enemy's a lot stronger than I imagined. There's a disruption. Let's cause another major disruption here. Oh, yeah. Didn't cause disruption, but he's not looking good. And there we go. A disruption. Now we can come in for the attack. And with the veteran Mongol cavalry, they are sure to break soon. Not this turn, it looks like. Damn, they got away from us again. I wonder if we should move up and attack. I think we'll just fire at a distance. I'm going to try to get to the location on time, but I feel like these guys will break or fall this turn. In fact, I'll go ahead and resolve that combat. And yeah, that's one of our units that I didn't want to see breaking, but it happens. Happens to the best of us, right? So now let's focus entirely on those infantry here to the left. And it looks like even our impact charge here will work out. We should have continued to attack, though. With the rest of our units. Nonetheless, that seems to have worked out okay. Just whittling down those forces once again, and I'll do the same here. If we don't know for sure we can win the fight, I think the best thing to do is to try and damage the enemy currently on the field. Especially these infantry units, which we know can't do a lot of damage to us. Cause them to disperse next turn. And let's just keep on firing. 46, man. The amount of damage we're doing to these guys is pretty unfair. I am going to push this unit forward just because I want to make sure their cavalry doesn't envelop us. So we need to do everything we can here to damage that cavalry unit. And here, I almost thought we'd be able to get a charge. Doesn't look like it, though. Eventually, these are going to cause morale checks. Not right now, but eventually. And I just want to see, did I not resolve some of the combat? Don't believe we resolved that. The general fell on... It had to be on the enemy side, no? Now I'm not sure. Might have been our side as well. We're going to have to resolve that combat whether we want to or not. And incredibly, we still held firm. It would make sense that this guy held out to the very end of the fight. Got to resolve this combat too. And again, they are peasant militia, but they're spearmen, so it still will be kind of a challenge to break them. Let's end the turn. If you guys have made it this far, put down below if you think we're going to win or not. Again, we got them at 34%, but now I think we're going to need to get them to 60% for it to be a true victory, if I'm not mistaken. And they've got a bunch of reinforcements on the way, including cavalry and spearmen. If the spearmen get here, I don't think we have a chance. cavalry we could deal with, but they're not going to get here before the spearmen do, since they're already ahead. Lots of charges. Don't like seeing charges. You can see the enemy archers do have some training. 39 that their men on the ground there got out of our horse archers. It's not good to see 39 of your horse archers go down just to enemy fire, of course. And as you can see, the enemy is pushing their way into the circle we've got, but they're actually trying to break through. If they can break one of those outer walls of the circle, they can escape, and it sort of, well, defeats the purpose of this particular setup. So there, our guys are going to break, finally, right there, and potentially these guys too, but definitely that unit. We saw that happening, though. We knew that was going to occur. And that caused a secondary break, which I didn't expect. You don't typically expect these things. And we're just going to have to see what happens here. Send those peasants to hell! There's a fragmentation. Alright, boys. And girls. Let's pay attention. Yeah. Auto brakes, beautiful. That's more than I could ask for. The impact here initially would actually be pretty good. Not awful. But maybe also not a good idea that we attack there. If we could have gotten that flank attack, it would have been a perfect idea. Again, we're still fighting Prince Mishlav, and I'm hoping that with continuous fire here, he will eventually just get killed with a lucky shot. It's happened before, it can happen again. But since I see that enemy struggling, I'm going to try to break him. Auto brakes, nice! Okay, let's see if we can't bring this guy here to fire at Prince Mishlav. And for this Mongol infantry, might as well fire at the existing enemy units. Alright. Again, I think strength is going to be the breaking point for this unit. We could also charge. It's not going to work out as poorly as we would think. But before I do, let me get a few more shots here. And let's see if good old Jebe can't cause a charge. It can't cause a break, pardon me. Not bad. I'm actually happy he fell back, though. Can we break here? I think we can. Yeah. Again, a pretty decent charge right there as well against the Druzhina. But before we do get a charge, might as well fire with Subadai. It's going to suck if Subadai gets killed here. So what I think I'll do is actually move Subadai here and charge. The enemy evaded. I was hoping for a follow-up attack, but that'll have to do. It's sufficient. And since this guy is so low on strength, he's going to be my target. To try and get a break based purely on strength here. Held firm. He's getting those morale checks. No, at this point, we have to keep our distance. In fact, I almost want to fall back. I don't like that we got disrupted there, but it was the right move. The enemy is just getting too close. You're too close, man. Okay, come on. We should be able to break them here. Weaken them. How are they losing 50 men and not taking morale checks? There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And you know what? Potentially, yep. Going to bring this unit over here, because this might allow us to get a flank attack next turn, depending on if we want to actually charge there with the first unit. And I am going to go for the charge. I'm confident we can follow it up with a victorious charge later. Although I will say, I was hoping for a few more breaks. We'll end the turn and see what happens next. Of course, with that group of infantry arriving, I am worried. But again, 39%. I think we need to get to 60% to have a definite victory. Because if they get us to 20%, that difference will be sufficient that we will need to get to 60 and not 45. At least that's how I see it. I could be wrong. It's good to also see that a lot of the enemy forces are dispersing. Once you face the Mongols, you don't want to keep on fighting them. There's just no point. You're just going to get killed once more. And actually, really nice defense there by our men, but unfortunately did not result in any sort of morale breaking at all. That's too bad. Although I'll give it to their archers. They're doing pretty damn good. If they could just teach them to ride on horses as they're firing, they might stand a chance. See a break here. At least we fragmented them. It's a start. It's certainly a start. I'd also like to see some of our boys rallying back. That would be really nice. Let's see if we can't go ahead and force the break. Nice. So that allows us to focus elsewhere, and look at that. We are going to catch up to the light horse, causing 2 breaks. That was just pure luck there. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be a good idea, but look at that. Fragmentation on the line here. Unbelievable. So who knows at this point? That's pretty awesome, though. We might as well just move forward at this point. I will fire, further damaging the existing enemy units here, but they have already broken. A lot of them have, anyway. And now we need to try and get that charge, assuming that we still think it's a good idea. Because it would be against the Chernigov Druzhina. And I'm not so sure. Yeah, we don't really match them well in combat. Nonetheless, it looks like that charge will work out pretty well. Enemy will evade, giving us the opportunity to follow up here. Not the most successful follow-up, I'll be honest with you guys. Nonetheless, keep on firing at them. Especially with those flank shots, I'd like to think that they make a bit of a difference. Disrupted. They are making a little bit of difference. We're going to cause a break here for sure. If we can catch up to them. It's a big if. What a shame. Had we been able to catch up to those guys, there is no doubt that we would have broken them this turn. Let's focus on the prince first, though. No, we can't turn and fire, but we can turn and fire here. Yeah, not looking so good. There we go, disruption. It took so damn long. To be fair, though, he's got extremely superior armor quality. This is a very expensive unit. And if we could just cut him down with continuous arrow shots, well, that would be ideal, of course. That really would be quite awesome. This guy is not in a good position. Yeah, I think our cavalry unit here is pretty screwed. This has got to be an opportunity to kill the prince with a flank charge. He can't escape. There's no way he can escape. He just barely got away. That's really annoying. Just trying to get these guys away from my other cavalry. I will charge. Potentially also getting a flank attack on one of the enemies. Alright, let's end there. What are they at? 42%? Oh, come on, game. Comes down to how our men perform on the field at this point. And some of these enemy units will break this turn. Not enough, I fear. And there we go. A nice defense by Subotai. Losing Subotai would really suck, so I'm glad he's holding up, but he is just among a den of wolves, essentially. He's got a lot of enemies there, and that's not making our job any easier. Well, let's resolve the combat here. I want to see that unit break. The next group of enemies are much stronger, and I fear that they have arrived in time to save their friends. We'll have to see, but, yeah, it's looking rough. I'm not gonna lie. It is looking rough. This is where we might get one break. Nice. But besides that, not sure. And it looks like some of them have rallied, because that only got them to 43%. Not nearly enough for the good old win. But hopefully we can break Prince Mishlav this turn. A few other units like this cavalry over here. We'll see. We will see. So see a potential flank charge even. Because we know we're going to lose that unit anyway. So we might just go ahead and sacrifice him with a flank charge. See, the enemy's going to evade that charge. I like that. And we actually get a flank attack on the enemy infantry. Not that it's going to help us much. We could actually break them an auto break, since they are looking pretty puny in terms of their numbers. But not quite puny enough. The only reason I'm going in here is to lock him into combat. I know the charges aren't going to go well, but I get the feeling we can break here. I'll cause an auto break very quickly, and we have to. At this point, I'm panicking a bit. There's a disruption. Come on. If we could just get one of those damn breaks to work. Man, survived every single one of those attacks. And that is an option, but I think the best thing to do is just keep firing with the arrows. We'll do the same over here. Move up. Weaken them before they charge, hopefully. That's all we can really do. Alright. Here we go. Man, what a crazy fight. I was feeling really quite confident up until now. I really thought we had it, but with this, you know, these newly arriving units, I'm just not sure. Just not sure we do, especially with Subotai in combat there behind the line. We can't really get to him. And we can't take the general out of the unit once he's engaged in combat. That's a no-no, and it makes sense as to why. We gotta keep things realistic, at least. Nice! Very nice defense by our unit. Not enough to stop the inevitable break, but I like that. Subadai holding out before getting killed for sure till the end. Yeah, I think Subadai is going to get killed in this battle no matter what happens. But there are plenty of Sons of the Great Khan to carry on his legacy. Not too concerned about that, to be honest. Just as long as we can get that break soon. There we go. Falling back, though. We didn't want to fall back. We wanted a break. Like to see that rally, though. Always like to see the units rallying. It shows that, you know, they still think we can win, and obviously that gives me a little bit of confidence. Let's go for the charge. He's going to evade. I kind of knew that, but maybe a rear attack. And an auto break there. Beautiful. You can't outrun the Mongols every time. Not every time. Maybe a few times. But we'll catch up to you eventually. And we've got them at 45, but the magic number now is going to be 60%. Which sucks, pretty much. Let's see if we could still make it. Causing an auto break there with one of our actual, well, disrupted units, which is always a good thing. So at this point, got to put the focus on the infantry. Just see if there's any infantry behind us. There is actually one infantry behind us, but I'm going to focus actually on the enemy archers here. Turn and fire. Oh, maybe not. And this is another opportunity to get a break. Against the Prince, no less. I might just go for the charge. There we go. Alright, so we have a few units rejoining the battle because of that. That is very helpful. But I don't think it's going to help against the hordes, really, of enemy units that remain here. It's going to be tough. Now, here's where we also thought we could get a break, just on contact, actually. Flank attack! They did hold firm! I am amazed by these little warriors. The Galician Armored Militia, man. They're pretty vicious. Cohesion won't drop. That's awful. And actually, there is a chance for a flank attack here. I'm going to go for it because the Great Subotai is in conflict there. So any chance to break him out is worth it. Now we're at 49%, guys. Remember that magic 60%. If we get to that, all bets are off. We've got the victory. And again, I'm going to focus on the infantry because we can reach the infantry with the rest of our cavalry. We can't reach their cavalry necessarily. Let's end it. Turn 13. I can't believe that we've been playing this long. But I guess these battles do take a while. And this is where I think Subotai will fall. That could cause the rest of our army to break. It's just such a terrifying loss. Subotai, of course, almost as respected as Genghis himself. So, really not somebody that we want to lose in this fight. They will definitely capitalize on that, break Subodai's back, and remove him from the field. There's just no way they can let this guy live. And look at that rear attack on Subodai Khan. And he breaks. He might actually, like the general himself, might escape. I really hope so. They are killing so many of his followers, though. Would be quite a miracle if he makes it through here. We had actually switched him to that unit during the battle. He wasn't always in that cavalry unit, but the other one that he was a part of has already been totally decimated. So I like to think that we made the right choice. Alright, some rallies. It's pretty impressive. If those rallies can continue, we've got a chance here. Oh, you know what? We could even get... I'm not going to go for the flank charge, but we can start harassing them this way. Then take our best equipped cavalry, currently with Jebe, one of our other generals, and fire at them. And just kind of trap them here in an endless cycle of firing. Now, this is where I'd like to get a proper break, but I can't help but feel that we will eventually cause an auto break here. Yeah, let's go for the flank charge. Auto break, beautiful. That's what I'm looking for. And look at that, causing another disruption amongst the lines. Oh, I'm gonna go for the charge. I mean, typically I would just keep firing. We need to try to break them. Even if that happens. Damn straight. Let's send in our best equipped. The enemy actually held firm. I am annoyed, but we've got another flank attack. Again with archers, but any chance to get a break here, I'm gonna go for. This is, of course, a chance at a victory. Let's see who else we can bring over. So not to this fight, but we can increase our odds on this fight, which would help us overall. But again, the loss chance is just a little too great for me. Just a little too great. So instead, we'll focus on the infantry here. Could try for an attack on the archers, but I'm just going to keep going here. And let's see, can we get a break? Oh, man. Like an actual break. We need both kinds. Turn and fire. Yeah, I don't think we should necessarily waste much more time with these guys, but if we could eventually run them down, that would be great. So I'm just going to get closer, hit them again, and I'm going to try to run them down next turn. We have to resolve this combat again, even if we don't want to. Fingers crossed. What are we at? 51% for the enemy army, 26% for us, just 9%. Just a few more breaks, I would guess like 3 more enemy units, and the victory is ours. But the question is, can we get those 3 units? I'm not so sure we can. If too many of their infantry cover this area, they're going to catch us every time we retreat, and we're just never going to get out of here with a victory. Look at that, yep, getting the flank attack on this unit, never good, because this is the one that could have potentially broken one of their knights. And they're starting to really converge here with their stronger forces. Yeah, man, that's not looking good. Over here, oh no, still not looking good. At least he's not completely in the red. He really should be. And there we go! The enemy has lost heart. We are victorious. Just got so lucky there, guys. And it's because we got to the 45% mark. We didn't need to get to the 60% mark. And I will let the enemy withdraw without further bloodshed. Of course, the real Mongols would not allow that. But I wanted to see what would happen. So we were on Knight difficulty there. What I really want to see are the losses. So, oh my goodness. So for the enemies, they lost 3,465 killed. The 8,962 are after the battle, are who we've captured. So that doesn't really count here, but the killed and wounded on the enemy side are insane compared to us. It's at least maybe 3 to 1? Yeah, it looks like almost 3 to 1. Unbelievable. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching this fight. If you enjoyed this and want to see some more Field of Glory 2 medieval content, you know what you got to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. It really, really helps the channel, so please do it for me. Thank you, folks. Take care. Have a great day.